guys, it's Olivia and welcome back to Live in Literature. Thank you so much for all the love and support I received in my last video, and if you have not seen it yet on my channel, please feel free to head on over there to check it out. Now guys, as you've seen from today's title, today we're going to be talking about my most anticipated reads of 2024.
I'm so excited, and I just can't hide it.
Yes, I am absolutely so excited to talk about these books today. These are books that will be coming out this year or have come out this year already based on these like early months. We'll see what I'm going to be talking about. I will be letting you guys know. There is a lot of good stuff coming this year and that stuff that's already come out.
Indoor plumbing, it's gonna be big.
So as most of you know, from what I talked about in my, I think I talked about it a little bit in my 2023 wrap up a little bit, but like something that I want you guys to like be in on the down low. There's been a big shift in the fantasy genre. Like I said, we're entering like a whole new world of fantasy in this past year to 2023 and now entering 2024. We're seeing a new shift into like what the genres are being written about. And obviously fantasy goes through waves and cycles. Obviously back in like the 2010s, it was the Twilight era, and then we had more of a dystopian era, and then we had a big fae uprising because of SJM. That died out for a little bit. Then we had a witches and like a witch moment, which I love when we get into witches. It's super fun getting into the witchy witch stuff for the fantasy elements. Then we were back with the fae, and now I feel like we're trending back into vampires and werewolves territory. I have talked about this at length on this channel that I'm not the biggest fan of vampires. Like vampire fantasy is like not my favorite thing. And now I'm going to be eating my words because I kid you not, after reading Carissa Broadbent's Serpents in the Wings of Night and the second book, Ashes and the Star-Touched King, I have to apologize to everyone in the chat. I have to apologize. I think that I like vampires now.
I'm designed to kill.
I don't care.
Like, I think I'm kind of obsessed. I think I actually am like, wait a minute. Like, I think I like vampires. I think I'm kind of like, ooh, like, you suck blood? That's kind of hot. It's kind of sexy. Don't look at me. They're kind of hot. Like,
I've killed people before.
It does not matter.
Woo! They're just like big and strong and like so cold, but then, you know, they get so warm at other times and
You're beautiful.
Beautiful. This is the skin of a killer, Bill.
I don't know. I just feel like I've been kind of feeling it recently. And I will say that a lot of the books that I'm going to bring up on this list of like my most anticipated reads of 2024, and some of them I didn't even know it at the time that they were like vampire related, like they're vampire heavy. Several of these books have vampire elements in them and or are about vampires. And I was shocked because I honestly, like, I've been a vampire werewolf hater for like a long time. Don't get me wrong. Twilight, perfection. A great film. The funniest thing I've ever seen, but also you really kind of get into it at the end. Then you're kind of like, wait, T.
And let's face it, I am hotter than you.
But like, I really was not a huge fan. The fae were always my thing. I'm a big fae girl. I'm still the biggest fae girl ever. Love you, Daddy Rowan Whitethorn and SJM and whatever. But like, I've been kind of feeling it a little bit with the vampires because I feel like they kind of go along with this theme of like dark academia and like this dark and spooky vibe we've been kind of entering throughout 2023, and we're going to be entering even more into and leaning even harder into in 2024. So I'm like wicked excited for this year. And I apologize to all the vampire like lovers out there. I'm on your side, okay? Like, I get it now. I get it.
That's Edward Cullen. He's totally gorgeous, obviously.
After reading Carissa Broadbent's book, I'm literally like, you know what? I'm team vampire all the way. I'm here for the vampires. And even the werewolves. The werewolves, I'm like, sometimes I'm a little bit like, I don't know about y'all. But I'm kind of feeling it recently. I will be talking about a lot of vampire novels this year and things that I've been anticipating. But again, I wanted to give a small apology to all the vampire purists out there. I'm with you and I'm on your side now. Like, I really am seeing the beauty in it and I'm totally here for it. So let's do this thing. Before we get into all that, I just wanted to show off because I'm here to promote the things that people are doing. I'm here to promote all the stuff that you guys are interested in and people who follow me or don't or whatever. But I purchased, I kid you not, one of the most beautiful art pieces from an amazing Etsy seller. Her name is Sunny Ray Art. It's all one word, Sunny Ray, Sunny, S-U-N-N-I, Ray, R-A-E, Art. And I kid you not, it is a absolutely stunning photo of Cassian and Nesta from A Court of Silver Flames. If you have not read A Court of Silver Flames, this isn't a spoiler. This is a romantically styled piece, not from a specific scene in the book, but a romantic style piece of them in this portrait I'm going to show you. Like, are you kidding me? Like, are you literally kidding? Like, it's just so stunning. I'm obsessed with it. Like,
It's so beautiful.
It's enough to make a grown man cry.
I got this gorgeous print. I ordered it. It wasn't even that expensive also. I'd like to point that out. And literally, it is such a stunning print of them. I'm going to frame it in like a gilded gold frame, make it look really old and romantic. But like, I just can't get over it. Like, they are one of my like most favorite book couples of all time. Next to Daddy Rowan Whitethorn and Aelin. Hello. From Throne of Glass. But like, they're like my number 2 couple. And like, I just adore Cassian above all other people, and Nesta. I truly adore both of them. And this is just like really gorgeous, like romantically styled art piece of them that I just like thoroughly enjoy and like think is so beautiful.
Gosh, you look gorgeous.
So Sunny Ray Art, like, I know you don't like actually know who I am, but like, thank you for your gorgeous artwork piece. I will be ordering more prints from you. So please, if you guys are interested in getting some gorgeous Sarah J. Maas art or art of any kind, I highly recommend purchasing from Sunny Ray Art. Seriously, one of the most beautiful art pieces that I own, and this print is gorgeous. I cannot wait to frame it and like hang it up in my library or even in my room. I can't decide where. But without further ado, I cannot wait to get into 2024's most anticipated releases. Let's get started. Really fast, the first book that I want to talk about is one that is already released. It is House of Flame and Shadow by Sarah J. Maas. This was my most anticipated release of the year. Like, I was more excited for this book than any other book. Obviously, it has already come out. It came out on January 31st. It was flawless. It was perfect. I've given 2 videos already discussing why I love this book. If you have not seen them yet, please go head over to my channel to check them out so you can see my review. Regardless, all you need to know is that House of Flame and Shadow was the year's most anticipated read, and I've already read it, and holy crap, blew me out of the water. I absolutely loved it. I know it's getting a lot of like hate online. Personally, for me, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Please watch my reviews to hear more, but I just wanted to get that one out of the way before we really get into this thing. Let's keep moving.
All right, this is it, people. Let's move. Let's go, 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 go.
The second book that I want to talk about, and one of the most anticipated releases of the year that I'm so excited to read and have already started reading, is Ali Hazelwood's Bride. Now, this one's also been a hot topic on Book Talk because people are finally entering a world that I would say that it's never existed because it has. If you were on Tumblr or on Wattpad or AO3 in any of the years between 2013 to 2015, hi, hello, me, you would know that this has a little bit to do with it's like soft, oh my gosh, I'm about to talk about some really niche fan fiction stuff. It goes into some soft Omegaverse stuff. Listen, you didn't hear me say it, okay? If you want to know more about that, you go do your own research. I'm not getting into that on this channel. Not today, anyway.
You didn't see anything, right?
That gets into a whole other level of fan fiction. But this is the first time I feel that I've ever seen it, published in the spoken word, through an author that is very famous. I've actually never read any of Ali Hazelwood's other books. I know that a lot of people really enjoy her contemporary stuff and her romances and stuff. I'm really excited to read the book. This one, I'm really excited for because, again, it is about vampires and werewolves.
Sorry. Sometimes I go full wolf when I don't need to.
The book is about a young vampire woman in her 20s named Misery Lark. Her father is part of the councilman of the vampires, and he is proposing that Misery Lark marry the very hotly contested and very rival pack of the alpha werewolves, Low Moreland. And Lo and Misery essentially have an arranged marriage. They're supposed to get married to like create peace between the vampires and the werewolves because they don't get along, and they just get stuck in this arranged marriage trope, which eventually leads to other things. But people are wondering why Misery entered this arranged marriage like so willingly. She's got her own plans and her own ideas as to and her own reasons for wanting to enter this marriage. So far, I've only like 3 chapters in, and so far it's just very tense. It's hot, it's heavy, it's tense. You can clearly see the rivalry between the vampires and the werewolves. It's like a huge line, like crossed down the middle. I wasn't expecting this, but this is an urban fantasy, so this does take place in modern times, but it is like humans are also involved, and it's vampires, werewolves. Listen, like, I am excited to read the book for myself to find out why people on Book Talk are like either freaking the frick out over it or they're hating on it so bad. I'm excited to find out for myself. But regardless, this was one of my most anticipated reads of the year because it has things to do with vampires and werewolves and some Omegaverse stuff, but I'm not going to get into that on this channel. If you want to do your own research, do a quick Google search. Listen, it enters a whole other realm of fan fiction that, like, yes, I've read, but, like, I'm embarrassed to admit that I've read. So I'm not going to talk about it, but if you want to do your own research, do. But this has a little bit to do with that, and I'm really excited to, like, see what this is all about. Just learn more about it, okay? I'm feeling judgment through the screen, all right? I'm feeling you judge me. Do not judge me. I'm really excited about this one. Let's move on. I will be taking no questions at this time. I will be taking no questions at this time about Ali Hazelwood's Bride. I will be taking no questions at this time about Bride. Next, we have Hafsa Faisal's A Tempest of Tea. This one, again, Hafsa Faisal, and I just actually talked about her in my previous video for the Smash or Pass video. I talked about how she's the author of We Hunt the Flame. Listen, I talked about how We Hunt the Flame for me was a pass. I did not enjoy that book. I felt like the romance was way too insta-love. I felt like it just was kind of disappointing because it was marketed as an enemies to lover, and it definitely wasn't. Regardless, it wasn't that way. I feel like the book was kind of jumbled. I feel like it wasn't written very well. Regardless of all of that, I'm willing to give the book, give her another chance because I know a lot of people really enjoyed We Hunt the Flame. It just wasn't for me. A Tempest of Tea, though, I had no idea. I figured it was going to be like historical fiction meets like, I don't know, like Spies or whatever. No, again, another vampire novel. This one also is a vampire novel.
Oh, there's a big surprise!
I'll give you a quick plot summary of A Tempest of Tea. It's about a young woman named Arthi Kashmir who essentially owns like what I would call like a speakeasy and like a very like old town like speakeasy. I can't tell if this is set in like the 1940s. It gives that feel of like the 30s or 40s or whatever, or like 1920s maybe. I would say maybe 1920s because it's like speakeasy vibes. But it's a young woman who owns a speakeasy that's also essentially converts as a blood bank for the vampires. This book is marketed as a Six of Crows, like, similarity of, like, heist stuff, which, like, I live. So Arthi Kashmir's swanky underground speakeasy it's in duress. There's something wrong with it. There's something going wrong. And she essentially has to enlist a crew of people. She forms an unlikely alliance with someone that she never would to essentially, like, help her speakeasy to steal some things to enter vampire society. It's like, I guess I didn't expect to see so much vampire stuff for this year. But honestly, I'm here for it. Now that I'm on the vampire train, woo woo!
I don't want you to come.
Like, this one has, like, very, like, historical fiction kind of vibes because it feels like really 1920s. It has, like, the heist vibes of Six of Crows, which, like, I adore. If you haven't read Six of Crows, read Six of Crows. It's fabulous. And it also has, like, vampire element along with, like, some rivalry going on, striking alliances, crew members that are either for or against her. It just seems like a totally, like, a rip-roaring good time. This book has already released. It dropped on February 20th. So it has just released. It's just come out. So get your hands on it now. It is already out. Another book dropping on February 20th is Kirsten Cicarelli's Heartless Hunter. Hey, me editing here. Just want to point out her name is Kristen Cicarelli. It's Kristen. I keep saying Kirsten. So sorry, everyone. That's freaking annoying. Her name is Kristen Cicarelli. Please just ignore me for the rest of the time that I'm talking about her. Kirsten Cicerelli wrote The Last Name Sarah, which is a dragon book. If you have not read The Last Name Sarah, read it. It is absolutely fantastic. I'm a really big fan of Kirsten Cicerelli. I feel like she was like a super underground author. Like no one really knew about her. I was reading her a while ago when she wrote The Last Name Sarah, which was a dragon book. I feel like before the dragon thing really blew up, which like it obviously Fourth Wing like blew the dragon thing totally up.
But the ultimate prize is the dragon no one's ever seen. We call it the Night Fury!
But like, I am such a big fan of her. I think she writes some beautiful enemies to lovers. I feel like she writes some great tension scenes. And I feel like this one is going to be incredible. This book is marketed as a steamy cat and mouse witch versus witch hunter. So we're getting into a little more of the witchy vibes. This time we're not doing vampires, we're doing witches. About a young witch named Rune, who essentially is a renegade witch hiding in plain sight. She decides to pretend to be a young socialite, vapid and like not caring about things, but really she's like smuggling witches like out of the city to protect them from the witch hunters. But she decides to court the sexy Gideon Sharp as a diversion to like essentially make him fall in love with her, distract her from her real cause, and also to distract the witch hunters from their witch hunting. Gideon Sharp is doing the exact same thing to Rune. He's trying to infiltrate her inner circle at this like swanky little place that she attends, and he hates all the vapid socialite things, but then he comes to understand like what's really under the surface for this young woman. She's intelligent, smart, brave, kind, all these things. I'm obsessed. I love when we get like young socialite, like young woman pretending to be the vapid, like shallow girl, and the man who judges her for it. But then he really sees her true character.
Like so many things, it is not what is outside, but what is inside that counts.
And he's like, I was totally wrong. I totally messed up. It's giving like Bryce and Hunt vibes in Crescent City, like where Bryce just played like the young party girl and Hunt was just like, all you are is a stupid party girl. And she's just like, if only you knew, dude, what was underneath all of this. And he sees it and he's like, I'm an idiot. And I'm like, yeah, you are, dude.
Ugh. Idiot.
It's giving those vibes. It's giving cat and mouse vibes. I'm obsessed already. I like it when she marketed it as a steamy cat and mouse. I'm so excited. I love that.
I love it!
Heartless Hunter dropped already on February 26th. I will be getting my hands on a copy of it. I cannot wait to read it. It sounds like it's going to be a totally fun time. So excited. Now to recommend, on February 27th, we have the long-anticipated Danielle L. Jensen's A Fate Inked in Blood, a Norse-inspired mythology romance. Yes, Norse mythology, guys. And no, I feel like it's a pretty niche one. It doesn't get talked about a lot, but I love some Norse mythology. I feel like it really just like takes another step. I feel like there's a lot of like folkiness to it. I feel like there's a lot of depth to the Norse mythology. I just feel like it's stuff that it doesn't get talked about enough.
This drink, I like it.
I know, it's great, right?
Another.
And I love Danielle L. Jensen. If you have not read The Bridge Kingdom by Danielle L. Jensen, read The Bridge Kingdom. It's fabulous. But essentially, A Fate Inked in Blood is about a young woman named Freya who is a shield maiden, bound in an unwanted marriage to a man that she hates. Eventually, she puts a knife in his back. But her husband has betrayed her before she can even do it. And she gets sentenced to fight this young warrior named Bjorn. His name is spelled B-J-O-R-N. So Bjorn or Bjorn, I'm not sure how it's pronounced. Please forgive me, I don't know a lot about Norse pronunciation. Regardless, Freya is forced to fight Bjorn or Bjorn in this like battle match to the death. But then eventually it comes out that she possesses a secret that she contains like goddess blood. And so then he can't kill her, but they have to form an unlikely alliance where he has to protect her. I didn't explain that the best, but please go and look it up. Like, just give it a look. It's going to be amazing. I'm super, super excited for this one. I'll read anything that Danielle L. Jensen writes, and it comes out on February 27th. So literally like next week. So go check it out. This next one that I'm going to recommend is also one that does come out on February 27th, the same day as A Fate Inked in Blood. It is Where the Dark Stands Still by A.B. Porniak. A.B. Pornak.
What do you mean? You process this however you need to process it.
I don't know. You tell me how to say this. I'm so sorry to the author that I'm mispronouncing your last name. So sorry about that. But I'll be honest, this book, when I first saw it, the first thing that I noticed was the cover. I feel like we can't help but judge a book by its cover sometimes, but I will say I saw the cover for this book and thought the art was stunning on the outside. I saw this and was like, ooh, this looks like a folksy, whimsical, very like spooky kind of vibe. And it totally is.
I like your vibe.
I like your vibe.
I like your vibe.
I like your vibe.
The book is about a young woman named Liska Rodast who is raised in a small village near the Spirit Wood. She possesses magic powers, but one day her powers have deadly consequences and devastating consequences. And essentially the Spirit of the Woods, the Warden of the Woods named Laleski, offers to exchange, after 1 year of servitude to come serve in his manor, will offer her one wish. And I think it's because she's scared of her magic. But anyways, regardless, she accepts this bargain. But as she goes deep within the Spirit Wood into this manor, she sees the crumbling manor and the facade. She sees that their bargain is not exactly what it was made out to be. And she essentially has to figure out like this connection with the host of the manor and how to escape the curse that's in this wood. It seems very whimsical, very fairy tale, very like forest vibes. I just love like folky, foresty, like very like whimsical vibes. This one seems like really, really interesting and really dark and kind of spooky and romantic. I'm thoroughly excited and really, really, really pumped for this book. It also drops on February 27th, so go check this one out. The next book that's coming out soon that I'm so excited for is Leigh Bardugo's The Familiar, dropping on April 9th. The Familiar, it is a long anticipated release for Leigh Bardugo. I think it's because we've been so set in the Grishaverse for her for so long. Everything that she has written practically besides Ninth House has been Grishaverse oriented. And I'm so excited to see something totally different from her because we've been so in this like Grishaverse fantasy world that she created, which is beautiful and stunning, but I'm so excited to see something new from her. The Familiar is essentially a like Spanish Inquisition, like 18 or 17 whatever, or even 16 probably, like 1632, 17 whatever, like century historical fantasy.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
It's about a young woman named Louisa who possesses a special type of magic, but she works as a scullion maid in a poor house of like a poor, like rich family in the capital of Madrid. Eventually her powers get discovered by the household, and the nobles want to use her little like special little power to like raise their social status. Soon though, her notoriety becomes noticed by the king and by the secretary to the king, and they want to use her to their advantage to like essentially scorn England's heretic queen at the time. And so like she keeps growing in notoriety and enters this world of like alchemists and holy men and like sanctity and religion, she's also afraid that like her Jewish heritage will get revealed in some time to these people, and that would be horribly devastating for her. She enlists the help of a familiar named Julian St. Angel, who's an immortal familiar whose own secrets could prove deadly for them both. So a familiar essentially in like, from what I know of familiars, I don't know a ton about them, which is why I'm excited to read this book. So like, for instance, like a lot of the times I know it's like a magical pet or like an entity. So for instance, in like Sabrina the Teenage Witch, like Salem the cat is like her familiar almost.
Wake up, woman! You're not a princess, you're a dragon!
Like he like acts as the familiar. Like he's like a helpful friend who like helps out. I don't know what Julian's role is going to be in this with Louisa, but regardless, I'm really excited to learn more about familiars, about the Spanish Inquisition and like Spanish like rule in those times when they were trying to conquer land and stuff. I'm excited to see where like her Jewish heritage comes up to play like in the religious aspects of the book. It just seems like it's going to be a really interesting and diverse book full of a lot of different elements. So I'm thoroughly excited. I'm really looking forward to it. For me, Leigh Bardugo can never steer anyone wrong. I feel like she's just an incredible author, and I'm super excited for this book. Also dropping on April 9th is one of my all-time most favorite authors in the entire world. If you've been a longtime subscriber of my channel, you know how much I love this woman. I've talked about her at length. It is the book is called The Outlawed Noble Salt by Amy Harmon. I adore Amy Harmon. She's one of my most favorite authors in the entire world. I feel like she writes some of the best books ever, and she writes all types of genres. She does historical, she does fantasy, she does realistic, like she really delves in all of them. And this time we're getting a historical romance, which is my favorite. This is really a book I am absolutely so excited to read. It is dropping on the same day as The Familiar, April 9th. I kid you not, I love a Western. I love an outlaw. I love anything like historically Western related. I love cowboys.
It's you! It's you!
I love that era of history, and I think it's super, super fun. This book is it's called The Outlawed Noble Salt, and it's about the infamous outlaw Butch Cassidy in his prime. He's out there, he's robbing, he's doing his outlaw things. And when he decides to go straight one day, he realizes that the people and the enemies that he's made in his life will just not let bygones be bygones. But one day when he's in Paris, he meets the beautiful singer, Jane Toussaint, and they have a moment together and they have this brief interaction of like what might have been. Years later, they run into each other again and he's still kind of running from the law, but he's still trying to go straight. Jane enlists him to come be one of her bodyguards essentially on her singing tour in America, and she trusts him with her life and with her son's life. And Butch is really scared because he wants to give in to this love that he has for her, but he's so scared of hurting her because of the past mistakes that he's had and the past men who have been in his life. Again, like I said, I love a Western. I love like an outlaw. I love like this tension going on between these two people. I love like this vibe of America at this time. It's just very like rough and rugged.
Ready? I mean, good.
I love a rugged, rusty, like crusty, like bearded man with a big cowboy hat. Like I just love it.
Ride like the wind, bullseye!
I just feel like it's such a fun era of history that like not a lot of people write about, and I just am thoroughly excited for this book. If you know anything about me, you know that Amy Harmon is like a beloved author in my eyes, and I truly adore her like above all other people. Like truly, I love her so much, and she deserves all the praise that she gets, and I cannot wait to read this book on April 9th. Now, the last book that we are going to be talking about today is one that I did not see coming. I did not see this one coming anywhere. This book quite literally could be my favorite book of the year because of the content. It is going to be combining all of my favorite elements. It is Texas, Mexico in 1840s. Western area, Western vibes, okay? And vampires.
Because I love you.
Then stop loving me.
I can't.
It is The Vampires of El Norte by Isabel Canas. Oh my gosh, I saw this and was literally like, what is going on here? I need to look more research into this. This book comes out in August. I can't remember the exact date, but this book comes out in August. I'm so excited. This book literally combines my favorite things ever. It's a historical fantasy. It is literally like vampires and then the Western era of like strife and struggle and like the gritty and nitty grittiness mixed with this fantasy element. It's epic. To give you a quick plot summary, the book is about a young woman named Nina, or Nena, I'm not sure how it's pronounced, but I think it's Nena, who is the daughter of a rancher in the 1840s, like Texas-Mexico border. Things are tough. Things are like, the borders are being breached from like Northern Anglo settlers, but then there's other dark lurking things at night that are even more threatening and even more terrifying. Nena was attacked by a vampire 9 years prior, and she never thought that she would live. Her childhood sweetheart, Nestor, can never give it up that his childhood sweetheart was dead. He thinks she's dead. He goes off on like a drinking frenzy for like years and years, cannot get over the fact that he lost the love of his life to these like night terror vampire beasts. Eventually, they are reunited at the crux of a war that is going on between on the border between the Anglo settlers and the vaqueros, and they're going to be fighting it off. But then there's an even more sinister thing at night. The vampires come to like attack. It's a whole thing. So essentially, like, can Nena and Nestor like overcome their past like mistakes with Nestor essentially abandoning Nena, and can Nena get over her anger towards Nestor? They essentially have this like very high tension is what it sounds like. There's a lot of stuff going on between the Texas-Mexico like revolution in the 1840s and with like high tensions there. And then obviously you have the night stalking vampires, which are also attacking on the border at this time, creating a whole big war. The book sounds supernatural, paranormal, kind of a total hot mess, but I kind of live. At first I was like, this is a hot mess express. You've got relations with the Texas-Mexico border in the 1840s. You've got Western, you've got vaqueros, you've got Anglo settlers, you've got like a romance going on, and you throw in vampires for a nighttime little like feasting adventure.
Every time I bring a girl home, you guys try to eat her. It's not fair.
Holy crap. It just seems like a rip-roaring good freaking time. I'm excited. It sounds like a blast. I'm so pumped. I feel like this is going to give a really good insight also into the tensions and the cultures that were going on in America in that time in the 1840s. And I'm also really excited to learn a little bit more about like these versions of vampires and like what they are like contributing to this book, as well as this gorgeous like childhood romance, which normally I don't love a childhood romance like blossoming into something else. I kind of prefer like that hot and heavy like enemies to lovers, but it sounds like it's going to be towards the end because there sounds like there's a lot of tension between these two. Regardless, I am really excited for this book and I hope you'll check it out in August when it drops. So that is all the books that I have to talk to you about today. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you enjoyed this video. And if you did, do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the Live in Literature YouTube channel. As I talked about in my last video, I am offering at 500 subscribers, we'll be doing a book giveaway for 2 books and a book boyfriend bookmark. So that is going to be happening at 500 subscribers. So tell your friends and family and whoever you know to subscribe to the channel. And we'll be doing a book giveaway. It's going to be super, super fun. I'm really excited to do it. And I hope that you enjoyed my anticipated reads for 2024 today. I am so excited for all these books. But anyways, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have an amazing day and I'll catch you in the next one. I love you. Bye.